All right, so we're still an hour away from the start of NBA free agency, and we've already got a Woj bomb. Kevin Durant is going to sign a 4-year deal with the Brooklyn Nets, which is absolutely crazy. And he was considering 4 teams. Reportedly, he's decided he's going to make the official announcement on the boardroom here in about an hour. But Adrian Wojnarowski has decided to preempt that announcement. And Kevin Durant is going to be on the Nets. Looks like Durant will miss most, if not all, the season with that Achilles injury. But um, what a Woj bomb to just, Durant thinking he's a genius in the sense that he's going to make this announcement on his own official network. And ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, who can pretty much predict the future at this point, has decided to preempt that announcement here in about an hour. And it looks like Durant will be going to Brooklyn. So everyone kind of knew Kyrie was going to be leaving Boston. That experiment didn't really work out all that well. But Irving eventually, it looks like, will team together with Kevin Durant. So if you're joining, welcome in. But again, it's just hilarious to me where Durant has been big on his media entities. LeBron James has been, and you think everyone's going to be tuning in to see where Durant's going to sign. The only shocker here would be if Durant, when he makes the announcement in about an hour, if it weren't actually Brooklyn. You're already seeing it on social media on your feeds of him in Brooklyn Nets jerseys, but you can only imagine that season tickets at the Barclays Center for the Nets are going to just go through the roof with the acquisition of Kevin Durant. And again, Durant's going to miss most of next season, if not all of it, with that Achilles injury. And there are a lot of players who haven't really been quite the same after sustaining an injury like that. Kobe Bryant towards the end of his career. I know John Wall, I believe, has that same injury. DeMarcus Cousins had an Achilles injury. And again, those players are at different stages and different phases of their career, but certainly you can say that Durant's injury in the playoffs was worse than probably what Warriors management was actually letting on. So again, you're signing Durant to this deal, even though he's not actually going to be able to hit the court for most of this season, if not all of it. Certainly interesting there. Also seeing reports out there that the Nets are also going to acquire DeAndre Jordan. So you've got DeAndre Jordan, Kyrie, and Kyrie will be able to shoulder the load. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for Kyrie to step foot in the TD Garden in Boston again this upcoming season because the fans are absolutely going to hate him. It looks like Kemba Walker is headed to Boston, and you can already see that even though Walker probably isn't quite as talented as Kyrie, that there's already an affinity for Kemba Walker to replace Kyrie to, kind of do what Kyrie wasn't really able to do. And that was kind of the knock on Kyrie, was that Isaiah Thomas, who isn't half the player Kyrie Irving is, was able to take that Boston squad to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think a lot of the blame unfairly fell on Kyrie's shoulders, but I also think he certainly didn't help himself too. But that's going to be really interesting to see Brooklyn go against the Boston Celtics and really kind of what the timetable is for Durant. Durant also moving to the East, I think, is going to be a big move for him because the East has not been as competitive as the West for several years now. Other than Toronto winning this past season, most people thought going into the playoffs it was either going to be Golden State or the Houston Rockets in terms of who's actually going to win the title because only a handful of teams could win. But with the Warriors, the injuries that they had, really, some people would argue that Toronto stole a title in their acquisition of Kawhi Leonard. And that's the next big question mark in free agency is what does Kawhi Leonard decide to do? Does he decide to stay in Toronto? Does he decide to go to the Lakers? Kemba Walker also off the table for the Los Angeles Lakers as well. So I would expect that the Lakers really, really go after Kawhi Leonard now. Again, the Lakers have room for one more max player alongside Anthony Davis and LeBron James. So we'll see what ends up happening there as well. But I kind of want to know if you're watching this or if you're watching this after the fact. Did Durant make if Durant does in fact go to Brooklyn, and again, we'll know officially here about an hour, but Adrian Wojnarowski, he's got sources all over the league. If he's the one reporting this, it's pretty legitimate. It's a pretty safe bet to say that Durant will, in fact, go to Brooklyn. Did he make the right decision, though? There were reports out there that Durant was going to consider the Brooklyn Nets, the New York Knicks, the Los Angeles Clippers, or to remain a member of the Golden State Warriors. And I know that Andre Iguodala had said that both Durant and Klay Thompson, who both had their respective leg injuries, Durant with the Achilles and then Klay Thompson with the ACL, but that both of those players, Iguodala says that both were going to return, and it does not seem to be the case now. So it'll be interesting. And it's funny, too, that Durant could have redeemed himself in a sense had he stayed on the Warriors, a team that he left for several years ago after the 2016 season. But we'll end up seeing, once Durant makes his way back to the court, who's going to be Batman between him and Kyrie? Is there going to be any rift there at all? Or, for whose team it actually is? I think Durant's certainly the more talented player. But again, both going to the Eastern Conference, I think both helps them a lot, just because I think the West is still more competitive than the East is. We'll see what ends up happening. But again, we're still less than an hour away from the official start of free agency, and it looks like Kevin Durant is going to be a member of the Brooklyn Nets. The biggest loser here is this. If you were the New York Knicks this offseason, you thought that you might potentially get Zion Williamson, you strike out on that. You think you might get Kevin Durant, you strike out on that. When the Knicks unloaded Kristaps Porzingis to Dallas, the thought process is that they were going to hit a home run with one of these superstars, and clearly that has not happened. But really, could you blame Durant? When I said, did he make the right decision here between the Nets, the Knicks, the Warriors, and the Clippers? I think the Knicks are by far the worst option that he could have had. What a lot of people don't realize with the Knicks is yes, they might have more cap room next offseason, but this was a Knicks team that only won 17 games last year. Yes, they added R.J. Barrett in the draft, but he's going to take some time to develop as well. So I don't think the New York Knicks were really ever a viable option for Durant. And the fact that there were rumors he was even considering the Knicks is absolutely incredible. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. But again, free agency already underway. Pretty remarkable and incredible stuff already. And again, if you're just tuning in, if you're just finding out on your feed, Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and DeAndre Jordan are headed to the Brooklyn Nets. My name is Mark Bergen. Hope you enjoyed this. See you next time. Take care. So long, everyone.